I was not expecting this money at all.
That my little boy that could not leave our home, is out in the world.
This is the confirmation I needed that people are actually doing this and getting real results. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's Taj and I'm back today with some more free tea. Happy New Year, everybody. This is my first video of 2024, okay? So today I want to talk about the power of visualization and imagination and what you can do to manifest everything that you want in 2024. Oh my gosh, you don't want to miss this, okay? I'm going to be giving examples today from Neville Goddard, a success story, and a success story from Joe Dispenza of two people that have used this technique to get exactly what they want. And I'm also going to give an example of how I've used this technique over the last 2 weeks since I haven't posted a video, and give you guys my success on this technique. So if you're interested in what we'll be talking about today, then just keep on watching. So before we get started, I don't know if this is a technique or if it is a technique. I don't know what to call it or if it even has a name. So once I start explaining exactly what it is and what I've been doing, then you guys can maybe comment down below if it has a name or if you've even tried this before or whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right on in it, right? So what if I told you that the same way that you've been manifesting unconsciously or unintentionally your reality this far, and 9 times out of 10 you've been manifesting undesirable circumstances. But what if I told you that the exact same way you've been manifesting these same circumstances, same experiences that you don't want to experience, whether it's got to do with an SP, money, whatever, like if you feel like you've been in a loop of like manifesting the same story but like a different person or same experience, just different day, I'm going to tell you how you can use this same technique that you've already been doing unintentionally, do it intentionally to manifest what you want, and fast, in my opinion. Y'all know I've just been getting these revelations lately. First it was the wouldn't it be nice? Now it's this. And after I decided that I was going to do a video on this, I saw a video on YouTube in my recommended from Joe Dispenza, and I just decided to watch it. And what do you know, the video was literally about this very thing. And so I was like, great, this is the confirmation I needed that people are actually doing this and getting real results. So what is it that I'm talking about exactly? I'm talking about reliving past memories or reliving the past, obviously something positive, something, happy, something abundant, something very positive, right? Reliving something of the past in order to recreate or manifest something new in the future. So for example, or in the now, I should say. So for example, my mom and I were just having just a regular organic conversation, and it came up in the conversation about the time where I was in college and I was really broke, and I ended up calling my mom on the phone. And while we were talking on the phone, I was asking her for money, and she was like, I don't know, things are a little tight, can you make it until, this day? And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So as we're talking on the phone about how broke I am, I'm pulling into my apartments. And as I'm pulling into my apartments, I check the mail, and there is a check there for me for $2,500. So while I was on the phone with my mom, first discussing how broke I was, and on the phone with her, I'm checking the mail, and I'm like, Mama, I just received a check for $2,500. And we're both on the phone just like, what? As we're both here talking about how money is tight, right? So since we were having that conversation and that came up in the conversation, when I left her house that night, I just kept going back, revisiting like that moment in college. It just kept coming to my mind for some reason. I just kept being like, man, like in my head, I'm just like, man, you remember that time when you ain't have no money and you just went home and like, boom, there was a $2,500 check there. Like, it's like all the feelings that I felt in that moment of like abundance and like relief and like all the positive, happy feelings that I felt in that moment literally came back to me and come back to me even in this moment as I'm telling you guys. All these feelings come back to me in this moment, and it's like I'm reactivating that energy, that frequency, that moment in a sense. And so because I kept doing that on repeat, like for like 2 or 3 days after this initial conversation with my mom, for like 2 or 3 days after that, my brain kept going back to that. I could be literally like stretching or something, or doing dishes or driving, and it'll just hit my mind out of the blue, like, girl, like, you remember that time you was broke in college and didn't have no money, and you came home to a $2,500 check? Like, it just kept coming to me. And every time I would think about it, again, I would like reactivate the feelings. It felt so real, even though this was like so many years ago. It's like the feelings came back and they were real. The point is because I kept thinking about this memory on a loop, and it was such a good, happy memory and feeling, and just flooded me with just all of the emotions and energy again from before. Like, I felt like I was reactivating that. But anyway, after about 3 days after me doing that, I just kind of let it go, and I just thought naturally I just stopped thinking about it. And I noticed something happen in my reality out of the blue within like I don't know. I'm going to put up screenshots here so that you guys can see the dates. But I received a $500 cash Apple Pay from someone just out of the blue. A few days later, I received another $500 Apple payment from someone else. A few days after that, I received a $200 Apple payment from someone else. After that, I received a $100 Cash App from someone else. These are all different people sending me these amounts of money. I was not expecting this money at all. It was just random from 4 different people. And when I thought about it, when things like that happen to me, my desires are always manifesting for me. I'm always getting surprised manifestations or out of thin air manifestations in my life. So, but when this happens and when it comes in like a flood and what seems to be like overflow, I have to stop, and I'm like, okay, like, what's happening? What have I been doing? Because I have not been consciously manifesting money or consciously affirming for money, although I do have a very good self-concept at this point, and like everything is perfect and everything is already mine, right? But I wasn't consciously doing anything. So I'm like, what happened? So that leads me to the Joe Dispenza video that I clicked on. And basically, long story short, and I'm going to leave this video linked in the description box below, just in case anyone wants to watch it and just check out this woman's story. But basically, long story short, this woman, she manifested healing for her autistic son.
And I am so happy to say now that my little boy that could not leave our home, is out in the world.
Her son was autistic, had like really bad anxiety. He was nonverbal. He did not like want to leave the house. He didn't want to be around people, just his parents. Like, he was like really, really closed in and boxed in, and wasn't sleeping, like all these things. You'll see if you go and watch the video. But basically, this woman decided to relive or go back to a memory in her mind where her son was at his highest functioning, where he was at his happiest and at his healthiest.
And I thought, if I can just bring up an image of him in one of his happiest moments, and they were still pretty fleeting, that I could imagine his little face when he was regulated and he was happy. And so I pulled that image into my mind, and I thought, and I'm going to think of him like this. Instead of all of these challenges that we have, I'm going to think of this moment, even though it's fleeting, and I'm going to grow it.
And she kept going back to that memory, and what that did was brought back and reactivated that energy, that space, that frequency of like happy and healed and joy and wholeness and all these things. You guys, not long after she started doing that, her son basically started coming out of his shell or whatever. He started speaking more. He started wanting to be around people. He started going out. And now, fast forward, he is a perfectly functioning human in the world. And she is completely blown away. And so am I. Because literally the only thing she did was relive a memory from the past in which her son was happy, healthy, and at his highest functioning. Amazing. And the last thing I'll tell you guys is some of you guys probably already know this story. And this was one of Neville Goddard's students. She was going to Neville's lectures and listening to him and trying to apply the things, law of assumption techniques that Neville was teaching at that time. And although she said that she was not seeing any results or anything like that, she had gotten extremely sick. I think she got like a blood clot or something. I'm also going to leave this story link down below too for people that are interested in reading the story. But basically this woman had gotten a blood clot and she was unable to continue to like go to Neville's lectures, and she actually started to get sicker, and the sicker she got like bedridden. She wasn't able to really walk anymore and things like that. And she was saying in the story, like, the sicker she got, the more like negative she felt, the more hopeless she felt and helpless she felt, like this is not going to work. She felt like Neville's teachings had worked for so many people, but not her. Well, one day randomly out of the blue, she received a postcard from like a friend, and she said what really grabbed her attention on the postcard was it was a beautiful picture of the beach. And this picture, her looking at this picture, she said she was instantly like flooded with so many memories of the past, of her and her family and her parents at the beach. And she said just memories came back to her where she was just running and playing and like kicking in the water and just really enjoying her family time. And she was just saying how it felt so real just looking at this postcard, and she could feel the like the beach and the water and things like that under her feet. She could almost feel the water splashing on her as she's running down the beach. And she said that these memories from looking at this postcard was so satisfying that it made her feel so good and so fulfilled that she chose to do this for every day. After that, for a week straight, every day, she would look at this postcard and just allow her mind to take her back to relive the memories of when she was at the beach with her parents. A week later, she said, after doing this for 1 week, you guys, 1 week, and I didn't even do it for an entire week. I did it for like 2 or 3 days with my example and started receiving money. So after 1 week, and this lady had been sick for a long time, not able to walk for a long time, she said she was able to walk. She was literally healed. She went from being in all this excruciating pain, unable to walk, felt like her legs was like barbed wired to her body or something, as she was explaining in the letter. But she went from that to healed, and she attributes that healing, she manifested her healing unknowingly, because she didn't know that reliving these memories of the beach, that it was going to be her healing, that was going to manifest her healing for her. But it was because she got back and she was reliving these memories. But yeah, so I'm going to leave that down below as well. And to me, this is so amazing, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. I'm sure this is nothing like necessarily new, but if anything, use it as like a reminder or a refresher that yes, you can use positive past memories and relive those memories on a loop as often as you can, just to bring you that feeling of satisfaction and bring it and anchor. What you're really doing is anchoring in your 4D wonderful experiences into the now moment, into the present moment, into the 3D, which is what helps it manifest so fast, in my personal opinion. So if we can just find positive moments to relive, like, to me, it's just a hack to tap into your desires now. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So let me know what you think down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Please be sure to rate the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guing in the next video. Sending nothing but peace, love, and blessings. Happy manifesting.